I've tried making a couple of videos outside, but it's very cold in the morning, and you don't want to see me with a running nose and watering eyes. So I decided I would try now to see if I could muster up a video of some interest. What's occurring to me is the maybe secret notion that we have to almost get rid of things, get rid of stuff, get rid of unwanted feelings or emotions or thoughts or antagonists on the spiritual journey in order to whatever, awaken or heal or become more present. And I think in a way some of this is a misunderstanding, because nothing needs to be gotten rid of. If you're talking about healing the body, then sometimes some things can need to be gotten rid of. Like in detoxification, there are certain antagonists, certain chemicals, certain what one might call insults in the body, that it's a good idea to detox out of the body. And so the metaphor can be kind of carried over, if you like, into the sort of spiritual, psycho-spiritual, emotional, spiritual world. But there might be a tendency to get hung up on that. And, certainly this is not really about that. This is about falling into a deeper acceptance of exactly the way that we are. And actually transcending, which sounds like a lofty word of going above. But I don't ever see it like that, and I certainly don't see it as rising above. I actually see it as a kind of falling into, more of a sort of falling into a depth. And maybe maybe they're the same thing, because both of them, whether it's transcending or deepening into a deeper acceptance, they both speak to the same thing, which is not needing to change anything, but deepening or rising into awareness, into a more profound, a more clear-seeing awareness of what it is that's happening, maybe why it's happening, to see the patterns of our mind, of our emotions, of the whole architecture of self, and to see that, and in seeing that, to be able to stay in maybe a deeper equanimity, which allows things to just be as they are. The great power of allowing things to just be as they are. And although this doesn't really sound like very much, I think that, most human beings and most beings on the spiritual journey, and most people that I worked with and most people that we work with in our groups, have a tremendous difficulty in just being with things as they are. I'm not talking about external things, I'm really just talking about our internal experience. Our internal experience, which is wavy, which might be thunderous, which may be calm, which may be fearful, which may be hostile, which may be, anxious is a big one, which may be polluted in a sense by all these thoughts that go on. That was something I was trying to talk about earlier in a video that failed. It's like the incessant nature of thinking, and there is a hidden agenda, if you like. There are a hidden agenda, maybe not, but a hidden thought or a hidden hope that if I can just get rid of, then the consequence of getting rid of will be that I'll find whatever it is, a deeper peace, a deeper grace, a deeper love, a deeper, anything like that. And so we tend to maintain the transactive nature of our lives, which is, when I get rid of that, then I will be whatever it is. But until I get rid of that, I won't be. And there's a trick in that, Well, don't buy that. Don't play that game. That's not what it's about. Our capacity to be with what is, to accept deeply what is rising up at any given moment. And, right at this moment, it might be okay, right? In this moment, sitting here, watching this, listening to this, wherever you are, you're, traveling, or you're, at home, or it's on the phone, or whatever it is, might be all right, because the mind might be distracted by these words, by what I'm saying, the whole frequency, and it might absorb you. So actually the feeling or the thoughts might be satiated or quietened a little bit, or the emotional uprising or the distraction might not be there, because it's okay in this moment. But then what about the next moment? At some point you're going to turn off this video, because I can't keep going forever. Every time during the day, there are a million different experiences during every day, right? A million, who knows how many. And we're rising and falling, because we're not fixed beings. We're having a moving experience, and the moving is part of our nature, really. The emotions rise up either because of some things that are going on inside, or some incoming happens from the external world, and it triggers us in some way. It might be a good way, it might not be a good way, or else we start to get a little bit disturbed in some sort of way. We have a thought, or we're rushed in this way, pulled in that direction, the phone goes, the email comes in, something always happens, right? Something always happens, and it can stir up, stuff on the inside very easily, and then we fight with that. We fight ourselves. There's only two good things we're good at fighting, really. That's ourselves and other people. And usually the second one comes after the first one. But what I'm saying is, on this deep spiritual journey, the path of trying to find a deeper integrity, a deeper equanimity, a deeper grace, is to really accept what's coming up. It's dark, okay? It hurts, okay? Makes me feel uncomfortable, okay? And staying with that okayness is like a deep awareness, because it's non-attached. It's non-attached. It's not attached to the feeling. Neither is it cold to the feeling. This detachedness, it can be cold, but coldness tends to push it away, almost deny it. And the thing about this is, I'm not saying deny it, I'm saying know it, become intimate with it. The path of intimacy with what's arising for us is profound, because it maintains awareness. But it doesn't maintain awareness necessarily from the outside. It maintains awareness by being part of, by penetrating it, by dissolving into it. And we dissolve into our experience, whatever it is, whether it's uncomfortable, or whether it's difficult, whether it's anxious, or whether it's angry. There's a difficult one, is anger. But to actually have the capacity, to become intimate with it, to dissolve into it. And in dissolving into it, it loses some of its traction. And you see, the thing is that you can't do this without presence. Presence is fundamental. If we haven't got presence, we haven't got anything. After all these years, I find that presence is is sort of just a natural state to me. I don't know. You know, it's not special, it's not elevated, it's not above anything. It's just being present. It took me a long time to get present, surprisingly. And now being present feels completely natural. It doesn't feel like anything. It doesn't feel like any big deal. But I know what it is to be kind of not present or distracted or kind of lost or struggling to be present. But presence and intimacy with experience are kind of, you know, they're like this because they're the same thing. Presence, awareness, intimacy with experience, with whatever we're experiencing, is ultimately the same thing. And so instead of fighting with who we are, instead of fighting with our experience, instead of fighting with our thoughts about this and our thoughts about that, the endless stream of thoughts that we have, no wonder when most of us are exhausted. We're all fighting ourselves all the time, and it takes energy. All of this takes energy. And the thing about, you know, dissolving and relaxing and accepting and surrendering and becoming intimate with is actually, you know, it doesn't use up much energy, surprisingly, because we think we have to do something in order to do it. But we don't have to do anything to do it. You don't have to use extra energy in order to surrender. It's the resistance that takes up the energy of the human being. Resistance is the great thing. Resistance is the great problem. Because it takes psychic energy, it takes emotional energy, it takes our spiritual energy, and it kind of steals it in some sort of way. That's why it's easily manipulated. But to not have resistance is like suddenly you're going with the river, and the river is inside this river of, you know, of whatever's arising. We are a river. Whatever's arising, to kind of meet it with a great intimacy doesn't take any energy. So that energy, where does it go? That energy goes into awareness. That energy, you know, goes into some other, you know, becomes redirected in some intelligent way. This is profound, right? This is a profound realization. So you don't have to fight with yourself. There's nothing to get rid of. You can detox a little bit. You know, sometimes something needs healing. Body might need healing. I'm a great fan of healing the body naturally. So you don't have to rely on the meds, endless meds, well, they do in America. But to actually heal the body naturally, to detox it, you know, to clean up the liver, to clean up all of these, you know, aspects of ourselves, so that a sort of a harmony starts to arise. You know, and maybe there's some emotional clearing, if that's a useful word, that might need to take place. But even that it's not a getting rid of. As soon as it comes into the emotional or mental and spiritual realm, there's nothing to get rid of. Everything to make friends with, or to make peace with, at least. Friends is a loaded word, you know. So there's everything to make peace with. And that peace can only come from a deepest acceptance, from a place of equanimity and presence and intimate awareness. I can't say it any more kind of succinctly, I think, than that. I hope you got it.